Hi everyone, it's Gustav here with another video for Montessori Preschool. Now, last time we finished talking about some of the way some animals behave in the forest. But today I would like to change a little bit and talk about the season that we are in. The season that we are in is called spring. We will talk a little bit more about that in a second, but I also want to talk about some of the weather as well as some of the things that show up during spring. So, here you could see some examples of what spring looks like a little bit. Okay? During spring, a lot of things grow, which we will talk about. And there's a lot of different types of weather that is very popular during spring. So, let's get into it. These are all some pictures of what happens during spring. So we call this spring. 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 We've talked a little bit about the seasons before, but spring is basically one of the seasons. It is the season that comes after winter. If you guys remember winter, we talked a little bit about winter. Winter has a lot of snow. I hope you guys remember snow. However, in spring, all kinds of new weather shows up. So, what is weather? Weather is what happens outside your window. So sometimes there can be bad weather, like here, which we will talk about. And sometimes there can be good weather, as you can see here. And sometimes there can be sort of in between weather, where it's not raining or anything like that, but it's also not quite sunny and clear. So, one thing that often happens during the spring is that it rains a lot. This is what we call rain. 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 When we go outside, when it's raining, we often need an umbrella or maybe a rain jacket. But it can be fun because you can jump in puddles and stuff like that. However, nobody likes rain. I feel like a lot more people like it when it's sunny outside. This is what we call the sun. The sun. The sun. Recently, we've had a lot of sun and no rain. No rain. A lot of sun. When it's sunny, it tends to get warm and people like to go outside to enjoy the sun and sit in the sun. You guys remember the beach? People often go to the beach so they can soak up the sun. But what about the area around the sun? What do we call that? Well, we call this the sky. This is called the sky. The sky. On sunny and clear days, it is blue, but on some days it can even be white or even gray. So, what do we call it when the sky is all blue like this? We call it a clear sky. This is a clear sky. It is clear. There are no clouds. Clear sky. Clear sky. Now, what about these white things here? What could those be? That's right. We call this a cloud. A cloud. Cloud. Clouds tend to be white, but as we will soon see, they can be sometimes gray and almost sometimes even darker than that. So what do we call it when the sky is full of clouds like this? We call it a cloudy sky. This is a cloudy sky. Look outside. What kind of sky is it outside right now? Is it day or is it night? Is it clear or is it cloudy? This is a cloudy sky. Sometimes you can see little bits of the actual sky in between the clouds, and sometimes the clouds take up the entire sky. So you can't see any blue at all. You see here, this is all white and gray only. Sometimes when it rains, you guys remember rain? I hope so. So sometimes when it rains, it gets really dark, and you can even get thunder and lightning. This is what we call a storm. A storm. A storm. Storms can be really scary. As you can see here, this is a very dark storm coming. You can see it's really dark gray, almost black like this. You see, it's almost black. So, during a storm, sometimes you can see lightning. This is what we call lightning. Lightning. This is also lightning right here. So sometimes during a storm, you can see lightning. But almost always during a storm, you can hear thunder. Thunder can be scary. So the noise that a storm makes is what we call thunder. You see this boy covering his ears? He's scared of the thunder. Thunder. So, the last part of the weather I wanted to talk about today is what we call the wind. You can't really see the wind, but you can feel it when you go outside. It tends to push against you. So, you see these trees right here? They're being pushed this way by the wind. This is what we call wind. 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 You can even create wind, like this girl right here, by pushing out with your lips. You see here? She's pushing, and that's spinning this toy. This is what we call wind. So, the wind, thunder and lightning, storms, clouds, clear days with lots of sun, or even rain, are some of the things that we call weather. Okay? This is what we call weather. Weather. It's a lot of the stuff that you see when you go outside. You see? Sometimes you could see the sun, and sometimes you could see clouds. And sometimes you could see storms, and sometimes you could feel the wind. Okay, kids, I think that's enough for me for today. So remember, today we talked about spring, and we talked about some of the weather that you can feel or see during spring. So try to remember rain, sun, clear days, clouds, cloudy days, storms, and wind. Next time, we will talk about some of the plants that you could see outside during spring, what happens to them, as well as one type of animal that we can see outside during the spring as well. Can you guess what it might be? It's a surprise. We'll see next week. Okay, kids, that's enough from me for today. Bye. Have a nice day.